Can you hear me now? Now we're good. Thank you for being patient. It's always interesting till I get it started. PowerPoint, good? Can you see a PowerPoint? Okay. Okay, so welcome to our Pampered Chef 90-Day Strong Starts program. So I used to just do this on the phone, but now this wonderful invention of Zoom has made it so much easier. So it gives you a good visual. So we are going to go through this. It's usually about a 30-minute call. And what I'll do is set you up in a series of usually 4 trainings to get you started that will break it down for you step by step. And then once we get through those 4, then I kind of more individualize for everybody. But I try to do Zoom calls with more than one person. And tonight I'm recording it so that way people can watch the playback. So you'll get the playback also. Okay, so we are going to get started. So first things first, tonight you are going to receive my email, if you have not already, with your first 30-day dates and your first 90-day dates. You want to make sure that you log these and keep track of your dates, because within your first 30 days is when you could always earn the bonus from the company. So anybody that joined in January, they get a free quick cooker if they hit a certain sales quota. If you joined in February, your sales quota then will be the Rock. So every month it's a different incentive. We never know what it is until the first of every month, so we can't even tell people ahead of time. So you want to track those dates in the email that I send you. For every $12.50 you earn, so for instance, in your first 30 days, our goal is to get you to $12.50 in sales, because that's how you get that quick cooker or that Rock, depending on what month you joined in. Now, what I usually do for you to get you started in your first 30 days, we're going to talk about a list of 40 people. And what I want you to do is we're going to work towards getting you 4 to 5 bookings in the next couple of days. I will actually run your virtual parties. I will do your posting for you until I train you on that. You will do your commenting, answering things, and I'll assist you. So it's kind of like we're co-doing it, because my goal is to try to get you quick parties right off the bat, get you sales, so that way we could get you that 30-day bonus. Now, what they have in the company is they really give you 90 days. So your first 90 days in the business, you don't pay for your website at all. We have no annual fees, but after 90 days, we do pay $10 a month for the website. Completely worth it for everything it does. Oh my gosh, $10 is nothing. It's chump change when it comes to everything that it does for us. So what's nice though is in your first 90 days, they want you to build up your business, build your bookings, build your contacts. So every time you hit $12.50, they keep handing you 100 Pampered Chef dollars. So you could hit, $12.50 10 times, and they'll give you 1,000 Pampered Chef dollars. Now, what Pampered Chef dollars are utilized for, you could buy materials, catalogs, order forms, other products you don't have, but maybe you want to add to your line to show at parties. You could save it. Every year we travel to national conference, so you could save it to pay for the national conference if you want to travel there. So there's a ton of different perks. And I'm going to talk about some of the other perks in just a couple minutes. But basically, your goal is to get as many contacts and as many bookings in 90 days, because we want to start you off strong. That's why we call it a strong start call, because we want you to get going. You may do more bookings during these 90 days than maybe you necessarily would want to, but the idea is to get you your contacts, get you your bookings, and build you a business. Because if you do it slowly, what happens, I always tell everybody, you have a choice of making it a hobby or making it a business. We want to treat it like a business. If you need to pull back and be more of a hobbyist, that's fine too. But the goal is to kind of treat it like a business. So that way you're not going, oh, Vanessa, I have no bookings. I have nobody to talk to about doing a party. We don't want you to run dry. And this is the whole point of the program. The program, what I did was put it into a PowerPoint, but this is designed right from the company with this information. So this is the first call everybody in the entire country does with anybody that just gets started. So it's the same concept. I just like a visual, so that's why I did PowerPoint. All right, so here's our team training. So just so everybody knows, as your director, my job is to make sure I train you. Now, as our team starts to grow, it gets hard to do a ton of one-on-one calls. So I'm very honest. I will say I always match effort for effort. If you are working it and I say, okay, I want you to work on this, and then if you do it and follow up, I'll gladly get on the phone with you and help you. If you're somebody that I'm chasing and you're not doing things, I have to spread my time, evenly to those who really want to move forward with their business. So what I do is I do trainings. So one of the things I do is the first Wednesday of every single month, we do a home training at my house. We always have food. Food is always a necessity with Pampered Chef. Some nights we will cook. So like I might say, okay, this is a list of items. Can everybody bring 1 or 2 things? So you might grab an onion and, a pepper or something silly. keep your receipts. They're tax write-offs for you if you're local. But I do that every first Wednesday. Now, we had bad weather. Wednesday is like the heck of a storm system going through right now this month, because now we actually rescheduled, and now we're scheduled for this Wednesday, and apparently there's a storm in the making. I'm like, you got to be kidding. So as of now, we have training night at my house this coming Wednesday if anybody's available. They're not required, but they're recommended, because obviously you're going to learn a ton and network with other members on our team. And this week's theme is Frozen. So you'll see this in a couple minutes, but our big trip this year is you could earn Disney, which is amazing. So every month my trainings are going to gear towards a Disney movie. So this month is Frozen, which is pretty fun. So if you know me, I'm nutty, so you know I'll do it all up. Now, if you're not able to make it, what we do is a Zoom call just like this. I'll face the computer towards us when we're training, and then that way anybody that's on the other end that doesn't live local, because we have people all over the country, they could tune in, and then I also record it. So my goal is always to be able to record calls for you to have playbacks. We also do what's called Tip Tuesday. So every Tuesday night at 8:30, we have different members on our team that are going towards leadership that they will do a call. Same thing, the Zoom link will post. You'll log into Zoom, and then every week is a different topic. Again, not mandatory, but recommended. We have the Team Boyle page, which is my personal business organization, the Pampered Peeps, which is my director and her team. So this is our organizational page. You're added to both of these. If you decide you want to excel your business, we have a leadership group. It's called Executive Bound Leadership. We're going to be running a Leap into Leadership every 12 weeks. So there's goals for you that you can advance within the company, and we train you how to do that as well. Facebook Live, a lot of times on the team page, I go Facebook Live. That way I can support you with different things. We have PC University. If you did not, when you first get started, it is a little overwhelming, but I promise you, if you come to our trainings or you reach out to me, and then online, they did not have this when I joined, but it's called PC University. So when you log into your account on Pampered Chef, you will see a big like coral color thing that says PC University. Go through it step by step. You don't have to do it in one day, but I always tell everybody, dedicate your first 90 days, a good half an hour a day just to watch videos and learn. That's how I did it, but we didn't have PC University, so it was like a scramble. So you girls are very lucky, put it that way. And I'm right now also currently working with a team of us, are actually making videos and recording step by step how to start a party, how to close a party, how to get bookings. So we're actually building a whole Google Doc for everybody, so that when we have new people join, it's going to be the godsend of templates that you'll be able to say, wait a minute, how do I start my party? You'll go there and watch a 3-minute clip. So it's going to be amazing. So we are in the works of that. We're about halfway done. So our goal is to have it done within the next week, as we're adding team members a lot lately. So that's really awesome. Next thing, our why. So this is the part that I always tell everybody I want you to focus on very early in the business, because for some reason you decide to take the plunge and say yes to the business opportunity. So there's a couple things that we're going to look at. And first thing is a why and then a purpose. So my personal why when I started was I joined to have extra money for our family because we didn't have the means. So what I want you to think about right now is not 5 whys, because of course we all want to pay this off and do this and do this. And in our mind as women, we have our stuff centered in 9 different directions. So I want you to think of one true reason why you're doing Pampered Chef. And it may be personal for you and your family. It may be personal just for you. Just examples. I mean, there's a woman on the organization, and she joined just because she felt she wanted to be involved with friends. Like she needed friends and just wanted to be like a part of something. Some people join for extra money. Some people join because they want some type of recognition because they don't get it in their day jobs. Some people join because they want to pay a mortgage or pay a car payment. So we all have a why. So jot down your why. Think about why you are doing this business. I'll give everybody a minute to do that. And your why is going to change over time. You'll be revisiting this. Probably as you grow in the business, you'll start to revisit it frequently. And you'll have different reasons why that you decide to stay with the business. The next thing I want us to think about is our purpose, because our why is really the motivation behind what we're doing. Our purpose is how are we going to be able to help others? What do we have that's going to be a gift to other people? Because the way the company was designed was basically like a pay it forward. If you focus on helping other people, it will obviously come back and you're gonna meet your why. So our purpose. Like, for instance, my purpose is I love to socialize, so I like to get out and give people a good time while I teach them a recipe. So my purpose is to go out and give everybody a fun night and teach them something new. So your purpose, thinking about, maybe your purpose is you want to share the products. Maybe your purpose is you want to teach people how to cook. Maybe your purpose is you want to teach yourself how to cook better meals as you're teaching other people. Maybe you're going to be able to spend more time talking to family members because now they're going to book parties that you don't see all the time. So I want you to write down and think about, well, what's your purpose in this business? Okay. And if you can't think right away, because I know it's hard to put you on the spot, just jot down why and purpose, and then you could revisit those, because I'm going to have you send those to me later on also. Now, the last part of this is your vision for your future of your business. Because when we start the business, we have a vision for what we want to accomplish in the first 30 days. We usually will have a goal for the first the next 6 months, and then for the next year. So I want you right now to vision what do you see accomplishing with your business in the first 30 days? What is it you want to accomplish? Maybe you want to earn that free bonus item. Maybe you want to hit 1250 twice. Maybe you want to do 6 shows or 8 shows. So jot down what you envision for 30 days and write 30 next to it so you know that's your 30-day goal. The next thing you're going to jot down is what's your goal for 6 months from now. So what do you want to accomplish in 6 months? Do you want to pay off a car early? Do you want to do 100 parties? Do you want to save for a vacation to take the kids on a vacation somewhere? Do you want to be able to put down more money on your mortgage? Do you want to put money away for retirement? Okay, so think about what your vision is for 6 months from now. Do you want to become a director in the company? Move right up the ladder, because that's possible. And then the last part is to jot down what do you envision a year from now. So next year on February 17th, because that's what today's day is that we're recording this, what do you vision that you'll accomplish within the year? Will you promote to a director? Will you have paid things off that you wanted to pay off? Will you put money away for kids for college and have a specific amount? Because that's what we're going to be focusing on, is being very specific as we go the next couple weeks. Okay? And if you do have a specific goal as far as like you want to pay a car off or a house off or a vacation amount, jot those amounts down, because that's how you're really going to accomplish these goals. Okay? Now, setting a goal is very important. It's what it's going to do is by setting these goals, it's going to give you a clear vision and it's going to keep you focused at all times. So an example when I first started is my goal when I first started was for fun money. But then when I started to make money, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to blow this money on stupid stuff because I didn't have a goal in mind. I just was making money and doing what I wanted with it. And then really, I look back and go, what did I do with it? So when I started to make more with the business, I made a chart, and my goal was to pay off a $28,000 student loan. So my why changed from initially. So my goal was to pay it off, and what I did was I made a chart for our refrigerator with $1,000, and my goal every month was to make that. And every time I would make that money and I would pay $1,000 on my loan, I would color it in. Sounds like a kid-like thing, but it's truly such a good visual. One of the things you're going to see coming up with the company, and I will send this to everybody, is it's called Magic in the Making. So every time, if you're interested in earning the trip, which I'll talk about then, we have the kids color in stars as we go. So these are really good visuals. So whatever your goal is and you want to accomplish, I suggest creating some type of visual and putting it like on a refrigerator so that way you always know it's right in front of your face, so you're going to keep motivated. Okay, so now that we kind of started to talk a little bit about goals, which we are going to revisit again later, I want you to think about, well, what are you most interested in? With our business, I always call it the trifecta. We basically have 3 style shows with a couple extra cushiony ones that we could also do. The big show that everybody started their business on years ago was cooking shows, because that's all that they had to do basically. So people would go out into people's homes. They would teach them a recipe. They would talk about products. They would do something fun to get bookings, and they would offer the business opportunity. So we still do show styles today. We do 2 different style shows that are cooking shows. One is you go out and cook for people, and you do all the demo work. And then I have what I call the one that's great for when you first start the business. It's called a station style show. It means that you will prep stuff ahead of time, which I would help you obviously set this up. but you would pick like 2 recipes. Your host would get the ingredients. And then what we would do is you would have everybody cook. So then that way it takes the heat off of you when you're just getting started, so you're not nervous. So that's a style show you could do. So I want you to think about, would you want to go out and do cooking shows of any sort? Because of course we're going to train you on that. The other type is catalog shows. This is where you basically say, okay, maybe the person doesn't have Facebook. They really don't want to do a home show. You say, well, how about if I give you a couple catalogs, pass them around, collect some orders, $200 makes a party. Now, of course, we want to aim to get them higher, but just say, pass them around, grab some orders, then we'll see where your sales are at. That's catalog shows. And then we also have what the new style is, which is virtual shows, which are booming as long as you host coach properly, which our next call will be on host coaching. So that part I will train you on very well, trust me. But that's basically running it with Facebook. Now, if somebody says to me, well, I'd really like to do a catalog show, the next question I say is, do you have Facebook? Because if they have Facebook, no matter what, they're doing a combined catalog Facebook party, because I'm able to reach more people on Facebook. So I want you to think about, do you want to do just one style of these shows to start, or do you want to dabble in a little bit of all of them? And I always say the best way to be really successful is eventually to do the trifecta, do a little bit of each. Even if you only do 1 or 2 cooking shows a month, it gives you opportunities to go out, talk to people, keep you in the know as far as what people are interested in, what dilemmas they have in their kitchens. So I always say even dabble in them a little bit, each of them, but you're primarily going to probably pick one to be more dominant in. And then we also have the extras. We could do fundraisers. We could do cooking classes, which I do, especially when I first started. I highly recommend doing a cooking class. You could do something very simple, something that you solidify. Now, every time you do cooking classes, you buy groceries for your family and you're trying recipes, save every receipt because all of these things are tax write-offs. So you could try the same recipe 100 times in a year, and every single time you could write that recipe off because it's business related. So we write off almost all of our groceries now because, of course, I'm always using Pampered Chef products, and I'm always playing around with recipes I could do at shows. So keep those. So cooking classes is a great way. And then we also have bridal registries. That's a little bit more in depth, but if anybody is interested and you know somebody getting married, I highly recommend it because they're the host to their own show. So these are kind of like those extras. Now, the key to any of these shows is what we call host coaching, which is prepping your host to know what to do. And the other part is customer service. So no matter what show style you do, one of our trainings will focus on customer service and how to keep in contact with previous guests from parties and how to reach out to them, checking on their products, offer them recipes and tips, making sure you say thank you for their orders. And then, of course, you're building a relationship for future business. And that's our goal. So we will be talking more about that in our next call. The next call will focus more on host coaching and customer care calls. Today, we're just focusing on goals, our style shows we want to do. And then now you're going to see the next part is we're going to set another goal, how many parties you want to do. Now, the company motto is 8 will make you great. I truly, truly believe this. When I started, I was the girl that goes, I'll do 4. And they're like, okay. I said, no, I mean like 2 home shows and 2 virtual. Like, I don't have time for this. I'm so busy. Little did I know, within no time, I was doing 8. And 8 truly does work. And it really makes you successful with the business. So if you break it down and think to yourself, I'm going to do 2 shows a week. If you're doing virtual, don't worry. I will teach you tips and tricks to pump those shows out like no other. You could do 20 at a time, I promise. But 8 will make you great. So I always say, if you're not going to start off right with 8, try to do like 6 or 5 at least to get close to that. And just break it down week by week. Don't stress yourself out. Even if you start off with 4 and build up, you're going to all start somewhere. But I want you to write down what your goal is and how many parties you want to do a week, and then how many, obviously, it would end up to be a month. Okay? Now, one of the things is you want to stay consistent with your shows, because what happens is if you go and you start to do shows and then you kind of go on a hiatus, you're going to have to start back over with your business. So your goal is to always keep booking people, keep reaching out to people every single day. So one of the things that we train on is making contacts. And what we want you to do is make 5 contacts a day. The 5 contacts a day, what's going to happen is you're going to reach out to people. And I'm going to give you some wording that you could use. And you could tweak it to fit more your personality. But every time you reach out to 5 people a day, you're planting seeds. And what's going to happen is say you book for March. Well, if you're booked for March, then you're still making those contacts because now you're booking April, you're booking May, and you're booking out further. So I book 3 to 4 months out ahead of where I'm at even. And then, of course, things come up, we just, finagle and switch. But at least you have your solid booking schedule. So what I always tell everybody is you aim for 5 people a day to contact. Now, some people won't answer you because that's just the nature of the beast. I know I'm guilty where somebody will message me and I forget. It's not that I'm intentionally not answering them. It's just that we know how busy everybody is. The only time your 5 contacts count is when they physically hold a conversation with you. So if you message 5 people and 3 people answer you, it means you only truly made 3 contacts that day. The 2 people that didn't answer you don't count because they never told you no. So a lot of times, very early in the business, we get a stigma that says, well, if they don't answer me, they mean no. But they never told you that, so you can't do that. You are going to hear the word no in the business. You're going to hear it a lot in the beginning. Do not panic. You're planting seeds. Trust me. I always was, in the beginning, I was a little Debbie down. Like, they told me no. I talked to 5 people. 5 people told me no. And then my director kept saying to me, Vanessa, you just got to be patient and keep doing it consistently. Because what happens is you're going to get out of 10 people, 2 people will say yes. So that means 8 no's I'm going to hear. So I got to suck it up. But what's going to happen is those 8 people, when I have those 2 parties, I ask them to post what they got in rewards. I also, with those 2 people, they start to share with their friends. And then those other 8 that I didn't hear from, I just keep making it fun on Facebook. I go live. And then eventually, most of them do end up booking. It just might not be right now. And sometimes people will tell you no right now because in our minds, we think no instantly. Within 2 weeks, she wants me to have a party. So it's okay to say, if somebody says no to you, say, you know what, let me ask you how come. Would May or, would April or May maybe be better timing for you? So don't panic if somebody says no. Give them a second opportunity for a later date because a lot of the time it's just that they're overwhelmed at the moment. Another thing is that sometimes we don't realize what goes on in people's lives. So maybe somebody's saying no because maybe they just went for a CAT scan for something in their health. Maybe they have an elderly parent they're taking care of. Maybe they have kids that are involved in every different sport. So you don't know. So you want to build a relationship and don't be afraid to say, well, do you mind me asking how come? Because a lot of times we'll learn from people. People will give you, my house is too small for cooking shows. And I always say, oh, I could party in any space because people get a stigma thinking their house is small. People will say, I don't think I know enough people. I'll always say, no problem. Just try it for fun. Let's do a virtual party. Invite everybody you know, and we'll go from there. Because people think that they don't have enough friends, their house is too small, and that they're busy and stressed. So it's our job to work them through that. So I always say, if you don't mind, just why are you saying no? 9 times out of 10, I can usually end up getting them to book a party later on without me bothering them. It's just simply asking why so that I can help them with their struggle. And a lot of time it's an inner thing that they're thinking about, and they think that they're stressed or they, that maybe their party won't be as big as the last party you did. And I always assure everybody, my goal is just to help you get products, make it fun for you with your friends. We'll make it a great time. Okay. So you're going to be hearing the word no, and that's okay. Now, the next thing I want you to start to think about is you're going to get yourself a planner if you don't already have one, because one of the things you want to do is plug in all the dates. You definitely don't want to do anything with Pampered Chef shows. You're going to plug in every day you don't want to work. Like, for instance, Sundays, I do nothing host-related for Pampered Chef. I will do business calls at night. Usually I do Sundays kind of as my team day when John goes to work. But most of the time, I really don't do parties on Sundays other than set people's parties up for them in the morning. And that's it. So Sundays is just kind of our day of rest. And if I do a training call, it's usually in the evening for a half hour. You're going to plug in every date. That means if you have dentists, doctors, appointments anywhere, kids' practices, you plug everything in. One of the things I learned early on from my director, which I had to crack up laughing about, she said, Vanessa, people don't want to do business with people that have open calendars. And I thought, well, why not? She's like, people want to do business with busy people because then they think you're very successful at it. So I listened to that, and I would plug in everything under the sun in my calendar. So I did is I color coded. So if it was blue, it was personal stuff for me and my family. If it was green, it meant I was open for bookings. And one of the things she always said to me is you never give more than 2 dates that you have available. So when you're booking a party, you say, okay, well, I can start your virtual party on March 1st or March 7th. I always gave just 2 dates. And then if people really, truly couldn't do those dates, then I would give them 2 more dates or just a third date. And she told me that, and it was very wise of her. And she was right, because if I went in and I had an open calendar, what happens is then people start to pick and choose their dates. And then this gets overwhelming for you because you're not controlling your business. You want control of your business. It's your business. So you want to plug in the dates you're willing to work and the dates you're not willing to work. You want to control your schedule. And then I always make sure that I have for 3 months out all my dates circled that I'm willing to host a party, because I want to make sure that it's dates I want to do, dates that are not going to affect our family stuff. It that way I know I'm not missing things in my family's life. And I don't. I really truly don't. Okay? Now, I have you create a list of 40 people. This is what we call the Franks list. So I had you do this ahead of time because sometimes this is tricky to do. Sometimes it's really easy to do. The reason I have you do the Franks list is because every single time you think you run out of people, you get out this concept and you write down 40 new people or more. Because every time we think we run out of people and we start to scroll through Facebook and create, you're like, wait a minute, I have way more people than I thought. I never even thought of them. I never thought of that person. Going back to past customers, you can pull up old parties once you start to have parties. So Frank stands for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids associations, and spouse associations. Or what I always say, if you're not married, you could call it the special people. They're like your hairdresser, your nail technicians, your dental hygienist, things like that. Don't be afraid to talk about the business everywhere you go. Let people know you sell Pampered Chef. A lot of times, if you tell them or you're wearing a Pampered Chef shirt, people go, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef. It literally sells itself. I'm not even kidding you. You also want to set a date to throw your own launch party. This could be live at your home, or it could be a virtual party. It could be either one. And when you do this, you want to set the date to be within the next week. So it literally is quick because we want to hit those 1250 in sales in 30 days. And a lot of times, most of the people that will join the business within their own launch party, they hit the 1250 and that's it. So I say 9 out of 10 people that have joined our team, within their first party, they hit the 1250. As long as you're consistent and you're reaching out to people, you're giving people the link to shop, trust me, it works. Now, what I want you to do, and this is something the actual PowerPoint is on our team page already, on the Team Boyle page, so you could refer back to this. But what you're going to go through then is code your list. So if you are going to be doing a couple different things, what you're going to want to be doing is you're going to be doing, am I with everybody? I didn't lose you guys, did I? Oh, there you are. Sorry, no. I lost you. Something popped up on my screen. You're going to code your list, and if you do choose to do different parties, think about, okay, well, I look at Mary. Mary, you know what? Mary's so busy. I'm going to see if she wants to do a catalog party. Or, you know what? Betty, oh my God, Betty has such a good crew of people. I would love to go do a home show with them. So you're going to code your list based on what to say to them. So if you are thinking of dabbling in different ones, you want to kind of have the word choice to say them. So for instance, if you know somebody and their daughter's getting married, well, you might reach out to them and talk to them about a wedding registry, you know? So a virtual party might not be appealing to the person, but a wedding registry will be. So that's why I have you code your list. So that way you could say, okay, well, these are the people I definitely want to see if they'll do virtual parties. You know, I might dabble in one cooking show a month. So I'm going to reach out to these 6 people and see if they would do a cooking show and kick me off. All right. And if you are going to start to do cooking shows, do not panic. I get on the phone with you and we plan your cooking show to start. And then you make the same recipes for like 6 shows after that. And I will give you the best recipes to do that are quick, easy, and you can't mess up. So don't worry about that. But I would help you get that set up. Same with virtual. All right. So then these are the words that you would say to them. Again, this is going to be on the PowerPoint. You could snap a picture on your phone if you want. Like I said, it's already on the team page. These are the words you can copy and paste. Go in and edit it to tweak it to yours, but then that way you're not trying to think of, well, what do I say to the people? These are proven words from the company that have been really effective with minor changes that you'll tweak to match your personality. So you'll see that it's labeled cooking classes. It's cooking parties. They just labeled it cooking classes because you could do a cooking class or a cooking party. And sometimes people will say, well, I really don't want to do a party. But if you call it a cooking class, they're going to say, oh, sure, yeah, I would definitely love to get together and make food with my friends. So they don't realize it's really a party anyways. So that's kind of why they call it class. Now, you're making contacts, I mentioned already. And one of the things that we'll do sometimes is we'll do booking blitzes on our team page, which are super duper fun. And sometimes I give prizes for those. And then what we do is we play the go for no activity. So it's a list of 100 things that say no, and you color in every no. And when you get a yes, you change it to a green color. So we do that sometimes. Just for us all to kind of be on the same page, that we're all getting parties and that we're really truly coming out and doing contacts. Now, I used to be one of those girls that would be on a Saturday morning, I would be working on all my contacts and I didn't do my 5 contacts a day. Trust me, it's way easier to do 5 a day. I keep track of it in my notebook. In fact, Oh, I don't have it in front of me. I'll take a picture and show you. But I keep track of everything. It's so funny because you'll get no's from people. And then all of a sudden, like 3 weeks later, they're messaging, oh, you know what? I do want to do a party. I just thought of it. I would really like that rock hawk. So out of the blue, your no's turn to yeses. That's why you must make contacts. And like I said to you before, every 10 people you talk to, 1 or 2 will say yes and host a party. Know your words when you're inviting people. And I always tell everybody, please never prejudge. Because if you say, you know what? Sally's just too busy. There's no way she'll ever do a party. Ask Sally. I was a little skeptical in the beginning, and in fact, I was afraid to ask certain people because I thought there's no way they would say yes. And then to my surprise, people do say yes. So a lot of times it's funny because at home cooking shows, my people that if I were to be a prejudger, I would think none of these people will say yes, and they're always my ones that book shows. It's hilarious how it works out. But ask everybody to host a party. Ask everybody to join your team. And do that right from the get-go because it builds that rapport and you get in that consistency of the same thing. Now, accountability. Success requires consistency, perseverance, and attitude. So you want to stay consistent with contacts. You want to stay consistent with bookings. You want to persevere. So when you hear no, you don't give up. And you want to always have a positive attitude because when you're positive, people are going to feed off of that. So I always tell my team, go live. Don't be afraid to go live. Take pictures of what you're doing and post positive things. You know, because the more that you're positive, the more you're out there and you're seeing, you know, showing what you made for dinner, what you did with the kids, people are going to be right with you on that. And they're going to be so super excited. And they're going to go, oh my God, I totally had the party with her. She is so much fun. Look at this. So be positive. Refer to the number of bookings that you write down. So what you're going to do is this is going to be your little challenge. So you're going to message me your why, your purpose, how many bookings you want to do per month. And then this is the last part of it. With your list of 40 people that you're going to keep track of, you're going to actually have 48 hours to get to meet your goal to get those bookings. So if you wrote down earlier today that you want to do 6 bookings, your goal is in 48 hours to have 6 bookings on your calendar. If you have 6 bookings on your calendar and you hit your goal, so that's why you're going to send me your goals, because if you hit your goal, then we schedule call 2. Once you schedule, because we have to have bookings to go on to the next part of it. So that's the whole idea behind this. So if you wrote down 6 bookings or 8 bookings, because those are the numbers I recommend for getting started early in the beginning, send me those dates, send me the names of who you're doing. And then what I'll do is I'll be setting up our call for the host coaching and the making contacts for the next call. Next thing is, so as my slideshow changes here, it looks a little delayed. The next part that we're going to go into should be the selling part. Oh, never mind. I apologize. Next part is, do you want more? I'm sorry. I was thinking of another PowerPoint. So we'll talk more on selling and upselling later, but that's a different PowerPoint. I did that training yesterday. Silly me. All right. So do you want more? Now, when you first start off in the business, the last thing people typically think about is adding team members. It sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you, the biggest trend right now across Pampered Chef is getting people on your team immediately, because then you are getting people to learn with you that are your friends or family members, whether they live near or far. Trust me, you will have different contacts. Every now and then you run into some of the same people, but if you follow the next training I'm going to do about getting bookings from bookings, you will completely have different networks of people. Trust me, it just does. It just works. So one of the things you might want to start to do is think about people that you would like on your team, because if you add people to your team, you could do what's called a fast track to director. And this is a big deal, because if you fast track to director, you could get up to a $2,000 bonus in 90 days, which is crazy, but it's amazing. And a lot of people are doing this. What it also means is larger paychecks for you. So you would actually get overrides for your team members. So when they sell something, your goal is obviously to be supportive of them, be positive. I'm still your director until you promote to a director. I'd be their director. If you promote to a director, you become their director, and I would train you on what you do, and you would just tag team things with me, and we would be a director team to train your people. So you don't have to panic about, oh my gosh, if I promote to a director, then what do I do? I would guide you the whole way through. So you would get larger paychecks. The other thing is you would get every free product every season. So as long as you are active director status, you don't have to buy any products that we ever have, because every season you'll get what's called a director kit. So about a month before everybody else gets them, you get the director kit and you get to play with them. So I always have them way before my team members do, because I got to learn how to do it so I can train all my team members on it. So that's fun. What's also fun is you can still earn the products. So every season we have an opportunity, no matter what level you are in the company, you can earn the products for free. So when I first started, I didn't pay a penny. Honestly, I didn't. Every time that we have the earning period for new products, just make it a goal to earn them, and you can. And if you're a director, you get them double the amount. So it's pretty amazing. You also would get special recognition at conference. You get to wear red. We have a big celebration at conference for you. You get to walk stage in front of thousands of people. They recognize you. They say your name. It's really amazing. You know, when you think of a day-to-day job and what little recognition you get, this company is all about recognition for everything you do. You also get invited to a private party at conference. Every year it's a different theme. Last year was a glow party. It was so much fun. So we did a glow party. So our whole organization, we dress up. We plan everything out ahead of time. We order shirts when we travel, and this is in Chicago. Super duper fun. I used to be worried leaving the kids. Now I'm like, when am I going? It's so fun, you know. So it's a great time. You also earn Pampered Chef dollars, so you would end up getting hundreds of Pampered Chef dollars. So if you promote to a director, it's quite a bit of money. I think it's 500 Pampered Chef dollars. Plus, you would get, I think it's in your first 90 days, I think it's $100 for every team member. So you would end up like almost like $1,000 in Pampered Chef dollars. So it's crazy. And then, of course, you earn way more points towards earning a trip. So it's just something to think about. If you're interested, we do have a Leap into Leadership group starting. So I could put you right into the leadership group if you would like to have any of these things. And then the last bit of information for this evening is my cell phone number. Program in your phones. Throw me a text. Make sure I have your cell phone in my phone. You can reach me at any time. I always tell everybody I have like business hours. Basically, I answer everybody if I'm available. If I'm not available within 24 hours, if we're out somewhere doing something, sometimes I don't see the phone message right away. We also have, like I said, the team pages. So anytime you're stuck, you need help, post on there. You will have a ton of support to get you going with everything. But basically, your key goal from our Strong Start first call is to send me your why, your purpose. So I just want to repeat that. Your list of 40 people and how many shows you want to do. And then send me in 48 hours, your goal is to get those parties booked, okay? So your 48 hours will be, I'll give you to Wednesday. So just aim for Wednesday because they're calling for bad weather tonight. So who knows what tomorrow will entail. So if anybody's available, you might be able to get a hold of more people tomorrow. But I'll give everybody till Wednesday. And then just make sure you reach out to me. And then what I'll do is then for next week, next week, maybe Saturday morning, a day that will work for whoever. I'll usually do 2 batches of the next round of training calls. And then you'll get little assignments like this each time, but they're nothing that you shouldn't be doing anyway. So it's pretty easy. So what I'm going to do right now is anybody wants to come off of mute, if you're muted, if you have questions for just the start of it, because I don't want to overwhelm anybody, I only just do things in steps for you. If you have specific questions, you can let me know right now, and I'll gladly answer them for you. And sometimes you end up thinking of questions after the fact. So don't hesitate to just message me too. But anybody have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing our screen here for a minute. So you just get to see my lovely face there. Okay. So I will always put the PowerPoints on. So just so everybody knows, I'll always put the PowerPoints on. This was recorded, so there will be a playback, so you can watch it again if you're like, wait, what did she say about that part? There will always be playbacks. Zoom calls, team trainings, we record everything we possibly can record for you. If you're looking for something specific, when you go onto our Team Boyle page, if you look in photos and files, there's videos, there's different documents. One of the things I create, this is definitely on the file. So when I start parties, I always create like an explanation sheet for virtual and home cooking shows. This is in the file. All you need to do is go in, open it up, edit it to be yours. I print all my materials like this through Office Depot. We have what's called Pampered Perks on the website, which I can show you how to do that. That will be one of our videos on the Google Doc. So you could actually create an account for Office Depot, and I pay 3 cents a copy. So it's amazing because I just print boxes and then they ship right to my door. They're usually at my door within, I don't know, usually like 3 to 5 business days, depending on, I guess, how busy they are. So that comes super quick. So all my paperwork, I do that way. As far as Pampered Chef dollars, every time we can earn Pampered Chef dollars, I try to do that. That helps me get my catalogs and gets my order forms. We do have an online order form that if you want it, you can send that to Office Depot if you prefer to do it that way. If you're doing home shows, if you're doing virtual, you won't have to worry about that. We just did, I actually have to see, I can have Carrie. Carrie's one of our leads on our team. She just did a training call, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, about SynShare and Facebook parties and groups. So I will have her share those videos with you ladies. So then that way you can watch the video about how to set up a Facebook group, how to do all those things. Like I said, we're going to have that document put together very soon, but she did do it just recently. So I'll have her pull the video for you as well. So like I said, team training's Wednesday night. The theme is Frozen. Right now, you may bring anything that you would like to bring food-wise. It's fun. And I'm down to 1 minute. So our training calls, they always kick me off. I'm the cheapo because I don't want to pay for the extra amount because it's crazy to spend and I'm like 35 to 45 minutes is always suffice. So if you ladies think of any other questions, please let me know. Private message, text, or post right on the team page. And thank you for joining me. So get to work, girls.